Hey, 31 Day Hard guys. Thanks for being part of this awesome challenge. I'm looking forward to doing this with you for the next 30 days after today. All of us going to a new level together. Iron sharpens iron, one of my favorite proverbs, which we'll cover down the road. But here's your day one devotional. I think this really sets the tone for the whole month. The whole month, we got to give this month to God. It's all about God. And Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. All wisdom comes from God. So when we're having challenges in areas of our life, with our business, with our families, with our fitness, any part of our life, we need to really look to God's word, and we got to line up with God, and we got to pray to God. You know, a lot of times we want to try to think things through on our own, or we look for the answer in other sources, and the sources of man. So the other passage I want to talk about today is Psalm 118:8. It's actually exact halfway point in the Bible. And it says, it's better to trust in the Lord than have confidence in man. And a lot of times we look to man first for our sources, when a lot of times men are fallible, just like the rest of us, right? And sometimes we're getting more opinion, and we're not getting the right advice. It doesn't line up with God's word. So whatever we decide, whatever area of your life we're working on, it needs to line up with God's word. And the only way we know that is to study God's word. So this next 31 days is all about getting deeper with the Lord, strengthening our relationship with him. If you feel like your faith is kind of lukewarm, it's not that God moved, it's that we moved. A lot of times the busyness of life and the craziness of the day-to-days, we forget to take time with God. So this is why I really like to retake that last territory and dedicate these things, to have a culture of reinstill a culture of discipline in myself and with you guys too, because I know all of us are going to benefit greatly for this month. And the way things are going in the world right now, the world needs strong men of God. And that doesn't just happen by osmosis, that happens from effort on our part. God is a gentleman. He doesn't force us to do anything. He gives us the opportunity to seek him out and to be blessed by him, but we have to take action on it. He's not a genie. We can't just rub a bottle. So this next things is like, all of us are doing things. So I'll just kind of fess up. I've had a lot of big financial bills. I got a big tax bill coming up. I got a lot of stuff going on with finances and business, and that's where I'm being challenged right now. And you know what? I'm not freaking out. I'm not worried about it, but I know that I have to get the answers from God on how to deal with the things that are coming at me, because it's been that way before. I remember a year ago, I had a company shaking me down for $80,000. They said I owed them. I signed a coaching contract with this company, and I found out that I really didn't like working with them. And I got out early, but apparently it was 6 days past my deadline, and they said I owed them for 3 years of coaching, which was like $80,000. Well, I could have gone into fear and worry and let them intimidate me, but instead I talked to the Lord about it, and I just stayed purposeful in talking to God instead of freaking out or going to man or calling a lawyer or doing anything like that. And the Lord led me through that situation, and I was able to come out of that situation in good shape and rectify the situation. But it wasn't anything from the wisdom of man. It was because of God leading me in prayer and guiding my decisions and my words when I talked to this company. And we worked something out. I got out of the whole thing. And, I realized the reason I got into the whole thing was because I wasn't seeking God. So all of us have made mistakes in our lives, and we can look back on those mistakes, and it's because we sought wisdom from another source. Sometimes that source is ourselves, or sometimes that source is somebody that is not lined up with the will of God. So what I'm really encouraging you guys to do is to take this month, and whatever you're struggling with, whatever things you're wrestling with, I want you to really take this month and give it to God, and trust that he's going to work these things out in this next month. The fact that we're giving this month to him, there's only a few of us doing this, because a lot of guys don't want to do this. Let's just be frank, because it requires accountability. It requires sacrificing some things of the world to get deeper with God and to do discipline, which discipline is not easy. Obviously I do what I do because I have clients, because discipline is not easy for people. And sometimes that's a thing that people want to do, but I would say they're more interested than committed. But you guys have committed, and I commend you for it. We're going to commit this month to discipline in areas of our life, and we're going to reap a reward for that. It might not be right away, but down the road we're going to see a reward for taking this month to do these things. And if nothing else, you're going to have more peace in your life. Going back to my story, when I was dealing with this company and all their threatening phone calls and everything last year, I had total peace about it. I had so much peace, in fact, that I dictated the terms at the end of this whole thing. As they were trying to intimidate me at first, at the end I was dictating the terms of how things were going to go, because I was being led by the Lord, and I had total peace about it. Peace is, you know, that you're just like, you can be in a tough situation, but you're like Jesus out on that ocean. You think about with the disciples, he was at total peace in the middle of the storm. And right now there's a lot of storms going on, I'm sure, in all our lives, in our world. And when you're at peace, you can think clearly, you can make good decisions, and you don't make decisions based on fear or emotions. So that's my word for you today. Those two passages. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So not afraid of God, but respecting God and understanding that I want to follow God. I know that following God is going to lead to a good result. Not following God, probably a bad result. And also that we're not going to seek the wisdom of man first. We're going to seek the wisdom of God. Now, God might put a man in your life or a woman in your life or some source in your life to supply that wisdom, but we're going to ask God first this month. I want you guys all to commit to that, all right? Love you guys. Thanks for being part of this. I'm going to put, Bo made a great spreadsheet. I'm going to see if I can get that out there so we can share this Google sheet and we can all use that for accountability to each other, all right? Talk to you guys tomorrow.